What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Alone Season 9, Episode 5 wrap-up show. Appreciate you joining me here today. As always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PrepperSoul. And just another great episode in the books. And to give you a little spoiler a little earlier, we are down to 7. Somebody did get eliminated on this week's show, so we are down to 7, and kind of a little bit of a surprise, I think. And to let you know, there was the person that did get eliminated was a surprise to me. And I'll reveal that kind of at the end of the show. But one of the guys who I thought was on the come up definitely got eliminated. So kind of an interesting episode. So we'll dive into it right now. We kick off the show. If you remember, they kind of show Benji's trail cam, and they end the show with they see the bear on the trail cam. So obviously there's a bear in the distance, and it was munching on his beaver guts. So he sees the bear in his trail cam, but he obviously says he doesn't want to kill a bear at this time because it is too warm out for the meat. I wouldn't be able to thaw it right correctly. So a little bit of issue there. So he said he's definitely going to wait a couple of more weeks before he can actually kill a bear, which that's what he wants to do. And I'll actually share my screen here so you take a look. Show you that bear right here. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. There's the bear. There's the bear on his trail cam. And obviously said it's too warm to get the meat. He wants to do it right, so he's going to wait a couple weeks before he even tries to hunt this bear down. So that's on the trail cam there. And so let's see. And he's actually building I believe they call it a wiki up shelter, which is basically to a teepee. So I'm going to see if I can find the one that he's trying to build here, but I'll also show a diagram. If I can find it. So there's Benji there. He's laying out. Yeah, there it goes. He's starting to build this wiki up shelter, and this is similar to what he's wanting to build. Like, it's definitely a teepee, definitely Native American. It's definitely what Native Americans used. So that's what he's wanting to build, in his shelter. So that's similar to what he wants to do there. So he's building that up. All right, so then we move to Jesse. This is day 22, 10:38 a.m. And he sees a grouse near his shelter. So, which they show, she sees a grouse there. She tries to shoot, but she misses, and that grouse flies away. She talks about how she's very hungry. She's building this massive shelter. This is it right here. So she's cutting a lot of wood, burning a lot of calories, and she's obviously stating that her shelter is taking longer than expected. So, and there's snow on the way. They're probably a couple of weeks away from snow, so that's on the way. And so, yeah, she's building that. Look at that. There's that structure there. It's coming along pretty nice, though. excellent, woodworking skills by her, but that just takes a lot of energy to do that. A lot of logs, those sort of things. So she's building that. There she is. She built a bed there already. And then we go into Adam. There's that squirrel he just shot. There it is. There's that squirrel right off the bat. And then he actually sees another one and shoots that one. So two squirrels right off the bat there. Um, and then we jump over to one. There he is. He's playing like he's hanging out in his shelter there. That's Adam. So we got another commercial. So I'll stop that there. So when we get back from the commercial here, we're going to go to Juan Pablo. This is day 22. And he actually is shown just drinking water. And he doesn't boil any of his water, by the way. So he is drinking it straight right out of the river. He says he's done this for, close to 10 years and he's never gotten sick. So that's remarkable. So definitely taking a risk there by not, boiling that water, make sure you get all the parasites, germs out of there. He's just drinking it straight out of the river. So this definitely doesn't seem to bother him. And he's obviously 22 days in, he hasn't gotten sick or anything like that. So obviously working for him. And he states that he really hasn't seen any sort of small game around his camp. So he hasn't really seen any kind of squirrels, any kind of like rabbits or anything like that, around his camp. Any grouse and no grouses too as well. So he's really beginning to weigh his options on food, and he decides that fishing is going to be the only route for him. So he's actually going to start to build a dock, and so he's able to kind of use that dock to get into deeper waters there near his spot. So he's going to start to build his dock here, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. As soon as this ad kind of goes away there, kind of take up a little bit of time. But he spots a seal out in the water. So these seal are kind of messing up his fishing game. And, we can obviously add that into, we've already seen about 3 squirrels already. I mean, not 3 squirrels, but 3 seals already on the show. So they're definitely making their appearance out here. And let me see, we'll pull up the tab here. There he is, drinking it right out of the tin. No boiling it, no nothing. So there's one probably starting to build that dock. And there's his dock right there. Let's see if they have the seal. Maybe we might not see the squirrel. I mean the seal. So yeah, they cannot hunt those harbor seals. They're actually protected from being hunted, so that's good. And then we jump into Carrie. This is day 23. She is wanting to finish this her shelter too as well, because the snow's on its way. They get about 190 inches of snowfall annually there in Labrador, Canada. And so she needs to get something quick, or it could, or there could be trouble for her. So she states that she's really having trouble finding a place to hunt. She does spot a squirrel and she shoots it, but she cannot find it. So huge loss there for her. Not being able to find that squirrel. I don't know if it, ran off into the bush or whatever the case was, but you cannot find that squirrel. And then they kind of go to a commercial break, and then, like I said before, she needs food bad, so she does not end up finding that squirrel. Um, and then we move into day 23 with Tom. He's making a number of traps, including wishbone traps. So he's able to make those. He needs to make those traps because he's not able to get food because he said he's burned a lot of calories um, building his shelter. And he's kind of dug his shelter in the side of a hill. So he's making about a combination of like a mine shaft, a log cabin, and a basket all in one. And he does state that, so a pretty cool shelter there that he stated, with those three combinations. But he does say that he does check his snares daily, um, because he wants to, you know, uh, make sure that his game doesn't, if he catches anything, make sure that those animals aren't the ones that he catches aren't eaten by other animals. So he makes sure that he checks his snares, daily. And as the show kind of goes on, they shows one snare um, he didn't have anything. The next snare he didn't have anything, and then on the third he checks, and there is something there. We don't really know what that is. They go to a commercial break, so they kind of leave you with a little bit of suspense there. But um, they come back from commercial, and he catches a huge rabbit, which is the first of the show. That's the first rabbit we've seen on the show, a snowshoe hare. So he catches one of those, and he begins to eat that squirrel. So good catch for him there. That's a huge confidence booster, moving forward. So good catch by him. And then we go back to day 23 with Carrie. She's singing a Native American song that she knows about. So kind of that, kind of talking to herself, those kind of things. But she uses those songs to kind of relate to the land, relate to the animals. And I guess kind of give her, just gives her that relationship with the land. And, she says she really needs to catch a fish. And she starts fishing. She gets a bite. And then she loses that that fish in the water. And I'm gonna see if I can pull that up here. I'll get to that here. But then she actually does catch a trout in the end. So she catches a big trout. She's able to get food for that day, so that's good. We jump back over to Juan Pablo. Current temperature is about 40 degrees at this point, day 23. So he also catches a fish, then he loses it, then he catches another small trout. So he's still on the dock. But then he goes on a hot streak. He ends up catching like 6 brook trout off his new dock. So obviously that's what's working for him. So that's a huge boost for him. And he basically, kind of at this point, he's basically states that this is survival for him and he's not going to tap out. So he has the mentality, and he's done it before. This past like 100 days at sea by himself. So he obviously has the background to do this. And he says this is just survival for him, and he will not tap out. But he ends up cooking up those trouts and eating them. And so there's his dinner. So big boost for Juan Pablo there. And then we move back to Benji. He's sharpening his axe, and he's actually making like a beam to put the hide of the beaver that he caught, and he's going to scrape off all the fat and meat off that hide and kind of make like meatballs with that. So he's scraping off that hide, and as he's scraping that off, he actually spots a grouse. He actually shoots at it 3 times. He misses the first 2, finally nails the third. And so he's actually got the grouse, and he's got some beaver meat. So he's ahead of the game, big time when it comes to food. He's there. And then he obviously begins to skin that grouse. So he starts on that. And then now we kind of enter day 25, and this is where things begin to spiral out for a couple of contestants. And we start off with Adam, who says he's having a number of stomach issues, and he's gets kind of emotional about his life and everything that's kind of happened for him. And he says he has a gut parasite, so not good for him. And this is at day 25. And so they go to commercial break there, and then they move over to Benji, who also has a stomach ache, and he kind of does some Chinese meditation things to kind of just to kind of get that mentality, to kind of get better. And also forced laughter too as well, which I didn't know. That's also another form of to bring up your spirits. And he begins to look for some yarrow for his stomach, which will be as another kind of plant that's able to soothe the stomach. And then we go back to Adam, day 26. He begins looking for birch for his stomach. So he's carving birch off a tree that he can use to soothe his stomach. And kind of go to later on in the day, go back to Benji. He is not feeling well at all. And then back to Adam. Once again, he's making a hot tea for his stomach. And then we go to kind of the nighttime of day 26. And basically Benji has a fever, not feeling well at all, a lot of aches and pains. And we move into the early morning, 2-3 o'clock in the morning of day 27, and he's throwing up all night, been throwing up all night till 6 a.m. And he just can't do it anymore. And he has to call, he's got a call to tap out, and the white boat arrives, and he's got to get some medical attention. So Benji's eliminated. He's one guy that I thought would, after killing the beaver, I thought he would go pretty far, and he did not. And so huge loss for that. So we're down to 7 now. And those 7 are, see, we've got Adam, Temojin, Tom, Juan, Terry, Carrie, Jesse. So those are our 7 that are left. I'm going to put up my rankings on Twitter, as well as the odds. So I think I'm going to win. So I'm going to redo that before Thursday, before episode 6. So I will get that sent out, and also send out the animal updates. Let's see what the tallies are right now. We've got 1 bear, 1 whiskey jack, 1 rabbit, 3 seals, 2 beavers, 10 squirrels, 7 grouse, 36 brook trout. So I will also post that too online just to get some stats on animals. But another great show, down to 7. See you Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on History Channel. Have you a great rest of the week. God bless.